To any species who receives this report, if you believe your Navy can withstand humanity, I beg you, stop reading and start running. Because by the time this message reaches you, they have already built more warships than you have in your entire history.
The chamber was silent when I activated the recorder, but the silence was not peace. No, this was the silence of fear. I am Raxalon Vor, Senior Analyst of the Galactic Strategic Bureau. My career spans 42 cycles, long enough to witness 3 interstellar conflicts, the fall of 2 empires, and the rise of 6. Yet nothing prepared me for what humanity has become. Our first warning came not from a battle, but from a number. A single number. 2. Not a fleet designation, not a weapon calibration code. 2, as in 2 days. 2 days to construct a vessel equivalent to one of our mid-range battleships. A ship class that takes us, on average, 6 months, 72 crews, 4 overseers, and half a planet's industry to complete. At first, we believed it was a translation error, perhaps a decimal lost in transmission, perhaps 2 days meant 2 cycles. It did not. The humans demonstrated the process for a joint delegation. We watched, helpless, as a dozen automated slipway cranes welded, fused, and assembled modular components so rapidly that our sensors mistook the fabrication for weapons fire. Every hull plate came pre-forged, every reactor chamber pre-tested, every weapon pod pre-calibrated, every internal corridor standardized to the millimeter. To us, warship construction is art. To humans, it is logistics. They do not build ships, they manufacture them. It was then, staring at that impossible assembly line, that I realized the truth. Humanity does not win wars because they fight well. They win because they can replace everything we destroy tenfold before we can even reload. This is not a civilization. It is a machine disguised as one. And the galaxy is only now understanding the scale of its mistake.
When the humans first activated their planetary factories, I thought it impressive. I thought it extraordinary. I was wrong. I was in my command observatory, a safe distance above one of their forge worlds, when the sensors began screaming, not metaphorically, literally. Every display, counter, and data stream I had flickered red with impossible output. At first, I assumed a malfunction. No civilization could produce these numbers. No species could maintain such a tempo. Yet the readings persisted. They were producing 1,200 warships per hour. That is not a miscalculation. I triple-checked every sensor. The human industrial engine churned like a living organism. Ship components streamed from orbital docks in endless precision, each unit identical, yet individually modular. Lasers, missiles, kinetic projectiles, and entire drone swarms were flowing from assembly bays faster than our logic could comprehend. I attempted to calculate the total output. Hours became minutes, minutes became seconds. My hollow table stuttered as the sums approached millions per hour. Every attempt to visualize it collapsed under its own scale. And then the missiles. Thousands of them, launched in synchronized barrages from automated silos, filled the atmosphere with glowing contrails. I realized, finally, that it was not sheer firepower that made them dangerous. It was their sheer industrial capacity. They could outbuild the galactic fleet in days, entire fleets in hours. If a battle destroyed 1,000 ships, the humans could replace them tenfold before we even cleared the debris. What struck me more than the numbers was the calm precision with which they operated. The humans were not panicked. They were not overextending. They were executing logistics like a species born from it. Each resource shipment, each assembly line, each orbital transfer choreographed perfectly, as if time itself bent to their will. The Galactic Council, our most brilliant strategists, whispered among themselves, "This is unnatural." And they were right. Humans do not fight like any species we have ever known. They prepare, produce, and overwhelm. Every weapon, every ship, every logistic chain is designed to ensure the enemy never recovers. We realized, too late, that they had turned industrialization into a weapon more deadly than any laser, missile, or plasma cannon. By the end of the cycle, I could only report the truth to the Council. Humanity is not just a threat. Humanity is an inevitability.
Our fleet arrived, confident in our superiority. We were the pinnacle of galactic warfare, giant dreadnoughts bristling with gigaton lasers, shields rated for planetary bombardment, weapon systems the Council considered unrivaled. We were wrong. It started with a single volley. From Earth's orbital platforms, the humans launched a coordinated strike of over 1.6 million missiles. The night sky above the planet disappeared under a writhing swarm of glowing contrails, their numbers impossible to quantify. Each missile tracked independently, recalculating trajectories in real time. Our sensors struggled to keep up. Our point defense lasers fired, cutting swaths through the incoming barrage, but for every missile we destroyed, 10 more replaced it. Entire waves were annihilated, only to be followed by another. The humans had anticipated every response. We tried to engage their surface-based missile platforms, but each destruction triggered automated replacements. Within seconds, new launchers were operational, firing fresh volleys with terrifying accuracy. There was no panic, no hesitation, just relentless industrial-scale warfare. Their tactics were not clever, they were not subtle, they were overwhelming. In my 42 cycles of service, I had never seen production integrated directly with combat. We fight with precision and restraint. Humans fight with multiplication. Every loss is immediately replaced. Every counter is anticipated. Every calculation assumes the enemy will fail. And so far, they have been right. Our dreadnoughts shuddered under impacts. Even point defense lasers could not stop every strike. Our shields, optimized for energy weapons, were useless against kinetic and explosive payloads designed to exploit every weakness in our standard armor grids. By the time we realized the first human volley had hit, half of our front line had been critically damaged. Aboard the observation deck, my colleagues whispered the words no one wanted to admit. We are losing, and not because of tactics, because they can simply produce faster than we can destroy. The humans did not gloat, they did not pause, they had no fear, no hesitation, no pride. They had industrialized combat itself. Our fleet, for all its technological prowess, looked like a child's toy against their relentless, precise, and endless munitions. By the end of the engagement, it was clear. The humans were not merely defending their world, they were demonstrating a principle. Numbers, logistics, and relentless production are as lethal as any weapon. We survived, barely, and the galaxy began to understand the true scale of the human problem. After witnessing the first wave of human munitions, our commanders attempted to regroup. Confidence remained. Our fleets were among the largest and most advanced in the galaxy. We had lasers that could vaporize moons, shields rated to withstand supernova-level blasts, and tactics honed over millennia. We thought these advantages would matter. They did not. As we moved forward, kinetic rods and micro-missiles rained down from orbit. Human drones swarmed in coordinated formations, repairing or replacing missiles mid-flight. Every attempt to neutralize them triggered immediate countermeasures. A destroyed shipyard? Within hours, automated systems replaced every launcher. A disabled missile silo? Its backup activated instantly, firing with unerring precision. Our dreadnoughts struggled to maintain formation. The humans did not attack strategically. They attacked with sheer volume. Every volley of missiles, drones, or projectiles was a wave in an unending storm. Even our best defensive systems were overwhelmed by the scale of their production. We attempted to retreat. Half our fleet disengaged, only to be pursued relentlessly. Our point defense arrays failed to keep pace with their supply.
Every missile we destroyed seemed replaced tenfold before we could even reload. Every calculated maneuver was anticipated, not by intelligence or psychic ability, but by relentless industrial output. Alien morale collapsed as engineers, tacticians, and analysts realized the terrifying truth. Humanity fights like a species with infinite resources. Their logistics network extended across planets and orbital stations, feeding every front instantly. Every destroyed warship, every obliterated drone, every ruined orbital platform was replaced faster than we could adapt. For the first time in galactic history, an entire fleet, our fleet, froze in fear, not because we had been outgunned, but because we could not outproduce them. Their weapons were not exceptional, their tactics were not genius, their victory was built entirely on industrial supremacy. From the observation deck of the flagship, I whispered to my colleagues, my voice trembling. They do not fight as we do. They fight as if nothing can stop them, and nothing can. By the end of the engagement, one thing was painfully clear. Humanity does not need to match us in technology. They do not need clever strategies. They do not even need courage. They have industry itself as their weapon, and the galaxy is only beginning to understand the consequences.
If the Forge Worlds revealed the scale of human industry, the arsenal of 7 types revealed its genius. The galaxy has long relied on lasers, kinetic projectiles, thermal pulses, and occasional railguns. Humanity, they combined all of them and then some. I observed their missile cruisers in orbit above a contested system. At first glance, they were simple ships, modest compared to our dreadnoughts, yet each vessel carried thousands of missiles, each missile capable of multiple warhead types. Not 2, not 3, 7 distinct forms of damage: electromagnetic, thermal, kinetic, explosive, ion, nuclear, and plasma. The first volley struck like a hurricane. Electromagnetic pulses disabled our sensors. Thermal warheads melted shielding arrays. Kinetic strikes shattered armor plating. Explosives tore through structural supports. Ion bursts fried electronics and navigation systems. Nuclear warheads obliterated entire sections. Plasma bolts superheated metal projectiles to incinerate anything they hit. And yet, that was only half of their power. These warheads could be combined in a single missile. A nuclear ion torpedo, for example, could disable shields in milliseconds and detonate catastrophically before a countermeasure could respond. Heat and kinetic anti-armor missiles penetrated the most fortified hulls. The scale and flexibility of their arsenal is beyond comprehension. Our fleets attempted to adapt. Calculations were made, countermeasures deployed, evasive maneuvers executed. Humanity anticipated them all. For every tactic we tried, they had a missile, a warhead, or a deployment sequence designed to neutralize it before it even mattered. Their industrial production ensured that no plan could outlast a single volley. It is not just that humans fight with unprecedented power. It is that they can replicate it endlessly, deploy it anywhere instantly, and innovate in real time. A battle lasts minutes, yet by the end of the engagement, our fleets were reduced not just in number, but in morale. Ships were crippled, weapons were burned out, and systems that took centuries to perfect were rendered useless. From the observation decks, alien delegates whispered in disbelief. They are not building ships, they are building inevitability. And they were right. Every strike, every missile, every ship, every warhead is not just a tool of combat. It is proof that humanity's industrial capacity is a weapon more dangerous than any laser, railgun, or supernova cannon ever conceived. In that moment, it became painfully clear. The galaxy does not fight humans. Humans fight the galaxy, and they do so armed with the full force of their unmatched industry.
By the time we finished analyzing the engagement, the truth could no longer be ignored. Humanity is not just a threat. Humanity is the axis of galactic power. Every battle,
Every strike, every production line revealed a species that operates beyond fear, beyond hesitation, and beyond any measure of conventional strategy. The Skakandi pirates, infamous across the galaxy, had underestimated them. A fleet of 40 raiders thought to terrorize a human colony found themselves annihilated in 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Not because of advanced tactics, not because of genius weaponry, but because humanity can field millions of missiles and ships faster than any other civilization can react. The Cassandra's Revenge, a single missile cruiser, launched a fraction of its payload and obliterated the raiders' fleet. The galaxy had assumed analog munitions were obsolete. Humanity proved it was a weapon of mass industrial scale. Observing from orbit, it was impossible not to be awed. Human shipyards churned vessels day and night. Forge worlds produced millions of warheads and components in cycles shorter than our council meetings. Slipgates allowed them to traverse vast distances instantly, distributing fleets wherever needed. Any losses are immediately replaced, and every new vessel is armed with combinations of 7 warhead types: electromagnetic, thermal, kinetic, explosive, ion, nuclear, and plasma. This is not simply warfare, it is industrialized inevitability. If a fleet is lost in one sector, humans produce 10-fold replacements in hours. If a planet resists, the next volley arrives before reinforcements can be requested. Their strategy is not defense, their strategy is continuous production, continuous deployment, and continuous overwhelm. We realized then that alliances will define the next era of galactic politics. Any empire that sides with humanity gains access to unmatched industrial and military power. Any empire that resists risks extinction, not through cunning strategy, but through relentless replacement and production. As I concluded my report, I could only warn, do not attempt to challenge them, do not provoke them, but do ally with them. The future belongs to humanity. The galaxy can no longer ignore the Terran Confederacy. Their industrial might, logistical genius, and capacity for war are unmatched. Every other empire pales in comparison. Humanity is no longer merely a participant in galactic politics. Humanity is the standard by which all power is now measured. And for those who fail to recognize this, the cost will be catastrophic.
By the time we finished analyzing the engagement, the truth could no longer be ignored. Humanity is not just a threat, humanity is the axis of galactic power. Every battle, every strike, every production line revealed a species that operates beyond fear, beyond hesitation, and beyond any measure of conventional strategy. The Skakandi pirates, infamous across the galaxy, had underestimated them. A fleet of 40 raiders thought to terrorize a human colony found themselves annihilated in 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Not because of advanced tactics, not because of genius weaponry, but because humanity can field millions of missiles and ships faster than any other civilization can react. The Cassandra's Revenge, a single missile cruiser, launched a fraction of its payload and obliterated the raiders' fleet. The galaxy had assumed analog munitions were obsolete. Humanity proved it was a weapon of mass industrial scale. Observing from orbit, it was impossible not to be awed. Human shipyards churned vessels day and night. Forge worlds produced millions of warheads and components in cycles shorter than our council meetings. Slipgates allowed them to traverse vast distances instantly, distributing fleets wherever needed. Any losses are immediately replaced, and every new vessel is armed with combinations of 7 warhead types: electromagnetic, thermal, kinetic, explosive, ion, nuclear, and plasma. This is not simply warfare, it is industrialized inevitability. If a fleet is lost in one sector, humans produce 10-fold replacements in hours. If a planet resists, the next volley arrives before reinforcements can be requested. Their strategy is not defense, their strategy is continuous production, continuous deployment, and continuous overwhelm. We realized then that alliances will define the next era of galactic politics.
Any empire that sides with humanity gains access to unmatched industrial and military power. Any empire that resists risks extinction, not through cunning strategy, but through relentless replacement and production. As I concluded my report, I could only warn, do not attempt to challenge them, do not provoke them, but do ally with them. The future belongs to humanity. The galaxy can no longer ignore the Terran Confederacy. Their industrial might, logistical genius, and capacity for war are unmatched. Every other empire pales in comparison. Humanity is no longer merely a participant in galactic politics. Humanity is the standard by which all power is now measured. And for those who fail to recognize this, the cost will be catastrophic.